What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
Me.
Do a little vocal warm up because we haven't done this in a while. It feels like
because we didn't record on Tuesday.
we didn't
we're
record
like
on
over
last
a week.
Tuesday. Yeah, we were
had an
over a
episode
week
last
on recording time.
Yeah, does feel like it's been a while.
That's a great. We should have opened the episode with that. I just saw a clip of Gritty punching what looked like a kid with a big ass boxing glove. Hello everyone.
Did you see Philly's getting the portal where it opened today?
Oh yeah, and it's already cracked.
It's already cracked?
It's already broke. Yeah. If any of our friends living worldwide want to know what Philadelphia is like, you've probably seen it on the news. There's that weird portal thing in like New York to like Berlin or something like that, or like some weird.
I think they were to London.
Go to London, right? And it's essentially just this big FaceTime in the middle of the city. Philadelphia got one. And it opened today, yesterday, this week?
Today.
Today?
But we can wave to Ireland, Poland, or Lithuania.
Oh, Lithuania. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's already cracked. So who knows? Now I will say, take it with a grain of salt. Who knows if that is from construction or if that's just from Philadelphia? But that describes Philadelphia perfectly. That is pretty much what it is.
Remember that like friendship robot that was like trying to travel the country?
It was trying to walk the country and it got into Philly and literally was mugged within like hours of being within the city.
It died. But yes.
Joe.
That's Philadelphia for you.
That's Philadelphia.
We should plan though. If we have any listeners that are from Dublin, Poland, or Lithuania, go to the portal. We'll wave there.
We got to figure that out.
We'll also wave. Yeah.
But
welcome everyone.
On that note, welcome everyone. This is episode number 82. That's what I was going to say. I was going to say 82.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was. My name is Owen. That is my sister Casey, who I am very, very jealous of. If you are curious as to why and are watching, or actually if you're listening on audio and you're curious why I'm jealous of her,
can't reach them.
She is wearing our lovely new jerseys from our favorite new people at Furious Motorsport.
So good.
She's wearing her Charles Leclerc jersey. It is a hockey jersey. If you've listened to us before, we are huge hockey fanatics. Both of us are currently watching the Philadelphia Flyers as we record this.
Yep.
So I'm a little upset. And she has my Lando Norris jersey sitting right there next to her.
I do. Right here next to me.
Yeah,
right
so
here.
I'm a little bummed about it, but we'll get there. I will get it. I will wear it on an episode.
Yeah, I'll be wearing it next week. Watch.
Yeah, but we got a good one lined up for you today because we finally made it through this horrible break. We would do our race recap for the United States GP, which
it was a good
was
one.
That a fucking doozy.
They kept saying beforehand, they're like, this is the momentum or like the hype to be like one of the best races of the season. I was like, this is a lot of hype, but yeah, I don't think it disappointed.
I don't think it disappointed. So we'll start off with our normal meme of the week. We got some pretty good ones. Casey just added, I don't know what this means. For news, it's fighter pilot trials. Don't know what that means. So that's our news of the week. Casey will be quizzing me in pints and pit stops. So that's making me real nervous.
And you have a new record to beat, so.
I do have a new record to beat. Damn. I'm still very happy that Frey put that in her bio. But
she said she was going to.
Yeah. But jumping from that, we'll go into our United States GP recap. From there, we'll do our new favorite segment, F1 Threads Mailbag, which we pushed out earlier today. We asked people to record their voices, leave us voicemails, because that worked out great when we first did it, and I loved it. So we brought it back. And then we'll jump into our little Mexico preview and race predictions for this coming weekend, because this is now round 2 of 3 for this triple header coming back from the break.
And it's 2-0.
That is yet what? What do you mean it's 2-0?
It's 2-0.
It's 2-0. Look at that. Great. Philly. Yes. Philly sports.
Meme of the week.
Philly sports. That's meme of the week.
Dad just texted us, don't watch the game. Too late, Dad. We haven't
I'm answering them. Too late.
But yes, so we will get started with our meme of the week. I will go first.
Casey's going first.
Click the video. So obviously, Red Bull filmed a video. Can you mute it?
Sorry.
Red Bull filmed a video asking the different drivers, people in the paddock, to fill in the blank for the most famous dialogue between Max and Charles Leclerc. It was just an incident in the race, and it's absolutely perfect. Everyone seems fully into it. Someone commented, I think on Instagram or Twitter maybe, saying, like, Oscar looks so happy to do that, and they said he wanted to do the whole thing.
I'm sure he did.
I mean, even if Maxie sometimes can look like he fully likes, like, these little videos laughing in this one. So, but I just had to post it. It was a good one. And then obviously you see Alpine saying Jack is my favorite. Alpine, we get it.
I missed the first part of this video when I first watched it, so I didn't realize they were quoting this whole back and forth. And like I just started where it's like right here, where it starts with like Valtteri and he's like, no, it's unfair, whatever, blah blah blah. And I'm like, what are they quoting? They're just saying like random things. And then I got right to Charles, and it's just an incident. And I was like, oh, that's what it was. It's like, I get it now.
Charles put a heavy emphasis on the incident.
As he should. as he should.
But yes, that was my meme of the week.
I do have a meme. Unfortunately, I don't have a video of it or like a picture. So this is strictly for our audio listeners.
Yeah.
It is pretty plain and simple. It's George Russell's high-pitched what from the race this past weekend when he was given a penalty. Obviously, team engineer hops on the radio and is like, hey, George, we got a penalty for that. We forced another driver off the track, blah, blah, blah. And his answer was just, what? And it was, I knew with any F1 driver getting a penalty, they're going to question it when they're driving the race, right? Because their first reaction is going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why did I get a penalty? But the fact that it was so high-pitched is what cracked me up. And I think I was like literally like mid-typing like a tweet or something like the post, and he pops up and does the what, and I started cracking up laughing. I was dying.
Well, then you had Toto come on after and be like, it's a fucking joke. A joke. Yeah.
Oh, when Toto got on, I was like, oh shit, he's pissed.
Yeah, that's what I think. Alex Tracy's like, yeah, that's not a message to George. That's a message to the FIA who's ever listening. But yeah, so that one that's a good one. But yeah, I mean, that's the most George Russell type of radio we could have gotten. Excuse me. So yes, I had a little tickle. Yes, weekly news. There's one piece of weekly news before we get into that. IPF1 Store.com. Use the coupon code underground10, only validating you to get 10% off your purchase of sick F1 art. He's posted teasing a cool one for Mexico already. That looks so... Oh, you have to see it. He posted it.
I'm going right now.
So yeah, you got his everything you could ask for. We also have our own personal capsule collection with him, so we absolutely love working with him. We just did our first giveaway, and it worked out so well. So we will be continuing our little working relationship with the lovely people at IPF1Store.com. But again, Underground 10 to get 10% off your entire purchase.
We also just finished up. Sorry, I just want to pump in our first giveaway.
I just said that.
Oh. Sorry, I'm looking for his post, so I wasn't like paying attention at all.
I literally just said.
Continue on.
No, I need your attention for this next part because you had no clue what I just added to the.
I'm looking for his page. I also see your post of Charles Leclerc's final pilot now. It's kind of ruined.
Yeah, now you get it. Okay, so Owen now just spoiled it for himself. So a few weeks ago, Charles was in an event with Fred in Italy. And, well, even before that, he posted an Instagram story one day. You could tell he was on a plane, and he was, like, going to do something exciting. He was teasing something, but no one knew what it was for. People all assumed it was skydiving, because he's always one he loved. Like, he's mentioned that before. And how Ferraris told him no, like, he can't do that. So he teased that, but then he was in an event with Fred, and he said that he did something involving a plane about a few weeks ago, but he couldn't say what, and more details would come out soon. Then after the race, on Sunday, this little teaser comes out from Canal Plus, which is the French broadcast of the race. Teasing, showing like people walking to a fighter pilot. You think you hear Charles' voice. So then today the full trailer comes out. So Charles, like with the French Air Force, gets to go. It'll premiere the Sunday of Brazil, so November 3rd. Charles is going in the fighter jet with.
He's gonna sit in a fighter jet with a pilot.
So yeah, they released the a teaser trailer that you can watch. It's so cool. It's all in French, obviously, but apparently he says like he can see the house, his home, like where he grew up, that house, because obviously you're over France, you're probably over Monaco as well.
Right.
It looks like his call sign was Percival, which is perfect. So,
I like it.
The full outfit, so it's sick. And then he posted on Instagram too a bunch of pictures and basically saying it was interesting, like to see the speed compared to an F1 car. And obviously, I feel like if there's anyone that could be well prepared for the G's, like the G-force of a fighter pilot is an F1 driver because of what they face in a car.
True.
Every weekend. So obviously it's probably 10 times more in the fighter jet, but
I can't imagine.
Yeah, but that comes, like I said, that comes the Sunday of Brazil. So we have to wait a little bit more, but that looks very, very exciting.
That is
completely different because everyone's like, he's also talked before about maybe trying to like get his pilot's license because he says he hates flying, but he like would love to learn so he knows he can like be in control, I guess. So people are like, maybe he got his pilot's license or he's starting that process finally. But then
that'd be a cool way to do it.
Yeah, but from skydiving, pilot's license, he's just in a fighter jet. It took a big turn. But yeah, that was really basically the only piece of news.
I'm sure everybody's gonna love those photos of him too in the suit.
Oh, you posted them today.
I'm sure they're great.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even imagine.
I haven't freaked about a Charles Leclerc Instagram post on our threads in a really long time, and it was like all times I was freaking out on there. So yeah, everyone knows they low-key broke the internet, but
I'm sure.
Yeah, that's really the only piece of in-depth weekly news. Oh no, I lied. There's one other piece of weekly news.
Spare me for a little bit longer.
The Red Bull and the front bib.
Yes, I should have looked into this a little bit more actually. Do you know? So, long story short, Red Bull had a device on their car that would raise and lower the front end of the car, otherwise known as the front bib, is what they were calling it. And it was in relation to the skid panel on the bottom, right? I'm blanking on the word that it was like to take away from that getting damaged, right?
I think so. I'm looking it up.
We're failing as F1.
I know we weren't prepared for this.
Yeah, I completely forgot about this.
Well, it came out saying that there was like one, like at first you found out that it said it was like one team, and then that was using this device that could change the car under Parc Fermé rules, but like a little on the edge after qualifying in the race to like help with speed. And then it came out that Red Bull confirmed it was them with the front bib height difference. So then that came out. So they admitted, they were like, we'll make the change. And that's when people were like, they haven't even won in how long, and they can't cheat well anymore.
Yeah.
What's happening? Yeah. So it says yes, the device exists, although it is inaccessible once the car is fully assembled and ready to run. In the numerous correspondence we have with the FIA, this part came up, and we've agreed a plan going forward. So, it's basically saying that like it would it's making changes that are prohibited under Parc Fermé conditions. So it's kind of like they found wiggle room to make changes when you're not supposed to after qualifying before a race,
right?
To maybe help it go faster or with more downforce. But yeah, then it came out that Red Bull was confirmed that it was them. They were going to make changes and move forward. But yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty much over and done with that story. At first, when they were like leaking, kind of hinting at it was someone, people obviously pointing fingers at McLaren right away because of with the front wing thing. But then immediately when Red Bull confirmed, people were like, so it was Red Bull. People were like, no. The McLaren front wing, back rear wing situation is completely different than this situation. Like, there are not, people were getting like the stories crossed and thinking that it was actually Red Bull this entire time. But no, McLaren still got caught and had to make those changes, and Red Bull now had to make those changes. So, yeah. But yeah, that's what people are like. They can't even cheat well anymore. They really have gone downhill, man, since Adrian knew he's.
Well, that's why I honestly forgot about it, because I was like, because of kind of how quickly it was like the news broke that they were caught cheating, and then how quickly it was just done. Like, it was like, oh, all right, like it's just not swept under the rug, but like just cleaned up real fast. So it was like,
no, it just like cycled through the news site. You would think like super quick, because I don't even think. I'm trying to think who was in what media things. Max wasn't in the sitting on the press conference. What? Sorry, technical difficulty. Shocker. We didn't have one last week with Fry, so we have to have one this week. What was I saying? So Max and Checo were not in like the media press conference before the race, so they weren't even asked about it there. Red Bull wasn't even in the team principal one. So that's why I feel like, because maybe they admitted to it so quickly and then they made the changes, it kind of just, like you said, not got swept under the rug, but people just moved on from it. It's not like it's the cost cap scandal from a few years ago that ended up being their catering. Like, it just came and gone. But yeah, that was, now that I remember that as we were recording, apologies, people. That's really all the weekly news. Now it's the moment Owen's been dreading.
Oh, God, this is going to be so bad.
Do you want to say what Pints and Pit Stops is brought to you by first?
Pints and Pit Stops is brought to you by our amazing friends over at Box Club. If you are an F1 fan, if you are a new F1 fan, if you're a veteran F1 fan, this is the best app you'll ever experience in your life. It is a truly built by F1 fans for F1 fans for everything F1. News, scores, points, updates, race information, race schedule, weather information. It's such a plethora of information for F1 enthusiasts that it's impossible to live without. We say it all the time, all these the championship updates that we give you guys after every race is brought to you by them. We're reading it straight off the apps. When we do our race recap and we're talking about so and so did this stint on this tire and came back out on then did this stint on this tire, all of it's brought to you by Box. We're truly very, very happy and extremely honored to be working with them. And what that means for you guys, our fans and our listeners, is that if you guys use the code Underground30, you get 30% off of the first year of your Ultra Plan subscription. You can download the app on the App Store for iOS and Android. The deal, however, only runs for iOS. So if you're an iOS user, you can get the subscription deal. The link is also in our link tree, which is included in all of our social media bios. If you go right there and then you click on the link for Box, it'll take you right to the app download page and it'll apply the discount right then and there for you. Like I said, it's a great app. I work in tech. I appreciate when an app is well made and well built and handled with care and love, and this one is. So Pints and Pit Stops and my utter humiliation today is brought to you by Box. Thank you, Box.
No, I think I'd be pretty good. It's just the last question I think I might stump you on. Obviously, today's Pints and Pit Stops is all about United States Grand Prix, specifically the race. So, and as always, Pints and Pit Stops, Owen is drinking water still. He's still training for that marathon. A few more weeks of that. First Pints and Pit Stop after the marathon, he is 100% going to be having beer.
I will have beer. I will have a beer with me.
Yeah, so obviously we always try a pint. We give a little description or a taste, and then the pit stop. I'm going to ask Owen 5 questions about the USGP. I will time him. The goal is to get the fastest time, hence the pit stop. For every question you get right, we take away a second. Every question you get wrong, we add a second. So, and we know there's a new record to beat. Okay?
Oh, there is a new record to beat. That's why there's so much pressure on me now.
Yeah, there's so much pressure. And I will not start it until I finish reading the first question. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm not going to look at the clock.
Okay. What position did Hamilton get to before spinning out?
14th.
What did Carlos report smelling in his car?
Fuel.
Who was Liam Lawson battling with all weekend on and off the track?
Fernando Alonso.
Where did Colapinto finish?
10th.
Where did George finish?
12th.
No, you were right first. I think you were right first. And then, when was the last time Ferrari had a 1-2 in the U.S.?
2006.
Okay, that was good.
Oh, man, that George question really threw me for a loop.
And you started to say it. You started to say the right answer. That's why I was like, say it.
6th?
You went, that's why I was like, say it. So I'll take like 2 seconds off because I talked before I said the last one. So you're at a 29.75, okay?
That's horrible. Okay.
What position did Hamilton get to before spinning out? 12th. So
12th?
Yeah, 30.
Damn it. You know what I was going off of? He started 19th.
Mm-hmm.
And he made 5 positions up on turn 1 for
the
first lap. That's what I was thinking in my head. And then he held that because he only went out on lap 3. So I was like, yeah, all right, damn it. All right.
So now you're at 30. What did Carlos report smelling in his car? Fuel. You got that right. Who was lost in battling all weekend with? Alonso. You got that right. Where did Colapinto finish? 10th. You got that right. Where did George finish? Obviously, we just figured out it's 6th. You got that wrong. And when was the last time Ferrari had a 1-2 in the U.S.? What year? You did get that right, 2006.
I knew that one, yeah.
Do you remember where it was? I'll give you an extra bonus point.
2006?
Yeah.
And it was
in the U.S.
In the United States. Austin came back in 2012.
I'll give you a bonus point.
It's not obviously Vegas. It's not Miami. Is it Watkins Glen?
No. It's hold on. It's Indianapolis.
Oh, I should have guessed that. Damn it.
The last time Ferrari had a 1-2 finish in the United States was Indianapolis in 2006 with Schumacher and Felipe Massa.
Damn.
The last time. That's so long. So what did I say? I will start you with 29. So you went up to 30. You went back down to 29, 28, 27. All right, so you've got 26.75.
26.75. All right, that's not terrible. Still not faster than Frey, but
no, Frey was like a freak with that time. And I think I'm giving you a pints and pit stops next week again. So
you are giving me a pints and pit stops again next week
because we had to get some times for you on.
Yes, I barely have any times on the leaderboard.
Alrighty, COTA USGP. USGP did not disappoint. I wanted to start off by saying those rookies are coming for seats.
Yeah, do you want to start with Williams?
I want to start with not even just Williams. I want to start with Colapinto and Lawson.
But
we can start with Williams because we also can note that the rookies beat their teammates in the race.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what a race for them. I mean, to start, hold on, I'm gonna pull up the stats on Box. For Liam to come in, I posted this during the race. For Liam to come in and get points in his first race, obviously not his first race, but his first
but on the
race
track he's never
on a track he's never driven on before is wild and is an insane feat in and of itself. Frank Colapinto up 5 places to get 10th place. Liam Lawson up 10 places to get 2 points, which, like, okay, 2 and 10 points. But for Williams and B-Carb, this is a huge win for both of them because of how well these rookies drove.
Yeah, and it's to the fact that Colapinto now has 5 points, and I mean, obviously Liam has 2 points. Like, And Valtteri Bottas was bumped down to 23rd place out of 23 drivers. But no, they both, and like Liam Lawson battling with Fernando Alonso the entire weekend. Like elbows out. Even Colapinto was battling Alonso on track. People were like, Alonso, you better watch out because these kids do not care. I was literally put they have no fear. They are just leaving it all out on the track, and it's so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
Because they're just like,
I love the shot of Liam overtaking Fernando, and it's through the S's, and you just see Liam just stick like wheel to wheel for him and like not slow down going into that first S, like the first bend, and he just guns it. And even like Alex Jakes and everything, and Hinchcliffe were like, holy shit. They were like, that was awesome.
Yeah,
like,
it was so good. It was so good. But yeah, what a performance.
For them to finish, so to put it in perspective, Yuki finished 14th, down 4 spots from where he qualified. And Alex Albon finished 16th, finishing 2 places down from where he qualified. That is, I mean, what a showing.
That's huge I mean, we said this when Colapinto was first announced, like, go into these last 9 races, I think at that point it was, as the best audition that you can give. And that kid is giving the best audition he could give.
He's given the best audition. And I said, even when when Franco was announced, I said, if he can score out of 2 or 3 of the 9 races we had left or something when he got announced, I said, he did his job. He came in, he did what he needed to do. He now is at 2 races that he scored points for Williams. So
yeah, and Singapore, he was 11th. He was right there.
Yeah, literally right there. Like,
and battling Sergio Perez for the majority of the race. Race. Like, the kid is making a name for himself, and that's what people are like, how much more does Sauber need to see, or Audi need to see to sign him? Because the kid has it. I mean,
he's got it.
Leaving year 2 drivers in the dust. I also feel like a Colapinto and Nico Hülkenberg, like, driver duo would do well, I feel like, because Nico Hülkenberg has such experience to be the perfect person to take Colapinto under his wing, and having Colapinto have these races, especially such a tough schedule under his belt. You have sprint races in there, you have normal races in there. It's the best showing. He is Colapinto. Proud of you, kid. Proud of you.
to put it in like real quick, all the drivers that these 2 rookies beat. So 9th place is Liam, 10th place is Franco. It goes Kevin Magnussen, Pierre Gasly, Fernando Alonso, Yuki Tsunoda, Lance Stroll, Alex Albon, Valtteri Bottas, Esteban Ocon, and Zhou Guanyu.
Yeah.
All of which are 2-3 year drivers. Like, it's insane.
You have race winners in there, and Pierre Gasly, Fernando Alonso, like,
a 2-time world champion.
Yeah, like
in Fernando Alonso, and they're beating him.
And
then, like we just said, Liam Lawson is actively racing Fernando Alonso and is throwing the elbows out and is like, screw you, old man. I'm not backing down from you. Like,
getting yelled at after the sprint race. I think it's Yuki that's like randomly behind, and it looks like he's like trying to see, like, find out what's being said. But yeah, I mean, they both, and especially Liam, first race in Daniel Ricciardo's second home race of the USGP. You already had most of the fans against you because of who you like replaced,
who you came in for.
To give that kind of a showing, that's the showing he needed to give. That is 100% the showing he needed.
He came in and he made a statement, you know. But yeah, it's just wild race from the rookies. I can't, in regards to their teammates, just because we're talking about them, I can't really say much. But I don't think those teams, being Williams and VCarb, like I said, can walk away from this thinking that this is a losing weekend. I mean, we're kind of, going around in circles here, but you have these rookies coming in and making a name for themselves and making statements, and it's you gotta, if you're James Vowles, if you're Lauren McKees, you gotta be walking away from this weekend just being like, damn. Like,
yeah, and you gotta think like James Vowles, he was on the team when they made sure Valtteri Bottas had a seat before they announced George. Like, he's already said he hopes like he will do everything to help Franco Colapinto get a seat. It's just like, what else? I hope he is helping him. And I mean, I hate to be Yuki, but if you get beat the next 5 races, you're not. That Red Bull seat is never yours.
He's getting nervous.
That's 100% Liam Lawson's, because obviously you can go into next year with Checo. But if next year's Checo's last year, that seat's, and Liam has another stellar year, that seat is Liam's 100%. I just went to the F1 app because you can do like the timing, and you can scroll through the different laps, because I wanted to see if they got lapped, because I knew a decent amount of people did get lapped.
Yeah.
But it was only up to Alonso, so they both didn't even get lapped. So up to 13th place was lapped.
And
they both had similar strategies, it looks like. Like, they both went 36 to 39 laps on the mediums, and then
both pulled a one-stopper.
Both did a one-stop. I think a lot of people did a one-stop. Looks like
Franco, two that we're blatantly forgetting about, too.
The fastest
he held
lap.
fastest lap for a good bit, which,
He did.
totally shocked me out of nowhere, because I looked up and I posted it, and I was like, when the hell did Franco get fastest lap? And it sucked, because I felt like I jinxed it a little bit, because I think, like, literally the next lap, like, Esteban Ocon got fastest out because he was out on softs, but it was like, I mean, it's like wild to think about. Like,
it's in, he is taking full advantage of his opportunity.
Yeah.
And to quote Hamilton, he's not throwing away his shot.
No, he's not.
Wait, did you see? I think someone asked Franco in the post-race about, I don't know if it was the fastest lap and Ocon taking it away, because did Ocon end up with the fastest lap at the end?
Yes, Esteban Ocon ended up with the fastest lap of 1:37.3.
Okay, so someone must have asked him, like the Spanish broadcast, about the fastest lap, and Franco Colapinto, we know, is a yapper. He says whatever he wants. He literally, there was special merch for him this weekend with Williams, and he was like, first of all, did an interview working out while he was doing the interview, and he basically says, no, don't buy the merch, it's going to be expensive, save your money. He legit said that. This kid,
he's a man of the people.
But at the end, he literally, when they asked him about like the guests with Ocon and stuff, he was like, well, I mean, like, kind of like save the earth, so like, why are you not saving the tires? And what he's saying in Spanish, and you see Ocon like turn around and be like, what did he say? And people are like, oh my god, I forgot Ocon can kind of speak Spanish. So then Ocon posts his post-race like Instagram and Twitter captions, and the ends all in Spanish.
I love it. Form the beef now.
Yeah, form the beef now. But yes, so I wanted to start with the 2 rookies because, like we said, a great weekend for them, a great showing for them. I really don't have much to say about Sauber. Continuing. I can't really say anything about Sauber. Like I said, they still have 0 points. Both drivers have 0 points.
Big old goose egg. You know what? I actually do have something to say about Sauber. I was really rooting for Joe because he was doing pretty well. And then he had that unfortunate spin.
Yes.
And I don't think anybody caused it. I don't remember anybody being around him. I think he just lost grip. It might have been a little bit of understeer. Just did a little loop and was like,
no, because I remember when the yellow flag came up on the screen, I had a heart attack. So I was like, what's the yellow flag for? Because it was so close to the end. And then I think, was it Franco or someone else literally missed it by this much? If they and K-Mag, they could have been caught and like crashed.
It's somebody, really
bad. I do remember Joe was doing well. I did feel bad for him. And Alpine again, obviously fastest lap. So they walked away with literally 1 point for the fastest lap.
Hey, it's a point.
That is going away.
Other than their yeah, that is going away for next year.
Yeah.
Also, their very confusing livery that just thought was McLaren the whole weekend. But
yeah. Especially when Mark posted, because like when they posted the photos, like they had it with like the orange hue around it, so it was so confusing.
Yeah.
And then that made it worse. And then when Mark posted it, it did look more like a gold almost instead of orange. So it didn't fully look like a McLaren, but I mean they killed it with the Deadpool and Wolverine special livery. So I do like these movie things that they're doing because they are cool.
I was shocked that I didn't even know this was happening. I just like randomly saw that this was, and it's not even a movie, it's a video game.
Oh yeah, it's a video game.
And I was like, what the hell? I was like, they're partnering with the Indiana Jones game? And I was like, all right. And then that's when Mark posted something about it, and I posted back and I was like, bring back the Red Bull Star Wars livery for when the prequel movies were coming out. They did a partnership with them. I was like, that would be sweet. But yeah, I mean, Alpine qualified really well.
Yeah, they did. But they dropped back.
Pierre Gasly dropped down 6 positions, so he qualified in 6th and dropped down to 12th. So shitty weekend for Alpine. But
another unforgettable weekend besides Fernando Alonso's beef with Liam Lawson the entire weekend.
Yeah,
like I said Fernando Alonso is going to hate these kids after the race because of Liam Lawson and Colapinto battling him. He's going to hate the children. 0 points for them. I can't remember how they finished in the
Lance Stroll, Fernando finished 13th, down 6 spots from where he qualified. Lance Stroll finished 15th, down 2 spots from where he qualified. I also, speaking of Lance Stroll, we just watched the 3rd episode of Drive to Survive.
Oh, you meet a baby Lance Stroll?
And you meet the baby Lance Stroll. You also, I'm going through the
pink
torture of watching Claire Williams just suffer.
Oh, yeah.
God, like, just the episode's so hard to watch because I was like, she's like, I just want to get Williams back to where we were. And I was like, I know that like 6 years later, you're still not. Like,
she had so much hype and so much hope for that team. I remember watching and feeling so bad for her. But I think she's probably proud of where James is bringing that team now. But
yes, we got to meet a baby. We got to meet a baby Lance Stroll. We also got to meet. I totally forgot that Lawrence Stroll was investor in Williams before he moved to Aston Martin and everything. And I was like, oh shit. So
because it was Force India to Aston Martin. Because did you get that whole scandal or no? Was that first season or second season?
No, that might be second season.
Okay.
Yeah.
But who was his teammate? Checo?
No, not yet.
He does have he is teammates with Checo for a little bit. It's so random. I think they're the funniest duo you would ever picture.
What year was Drive to Survive season 1? 2019? 2018? 2018.
2018, yeah.
2018 because they covered Monaco and Daniel.
Daniel won, yeah.
2018 Williams.
The birth of the iconic belly flop
lineup.
Yeah, Aston Martin, pretty unforgettable.
Oh yes, his teammate was somebody completely forgettable. It was Sergei Sirotkin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's names in here that like I don't even recognize.
Yeah. But yes, Aston Martin, can't say more. Besides, I kind of hope the beef between Liam Lawson and Fernando Alonso continues because it's funny. Because Fernando Alonso could be his father, so it's just funny.
Yeah.
Like, and then Haas, their home race, which I completely forgot about, and I got home right as the driver parade started, and I was like, why the hell is Haas going out first? Like, I was like, that doesn't make sense, and I was like, oh yeah, it's their home race.
It's home race. I always forget that they're an American team. I
mean, I liked their livery though. Their livery was
cool. Yeah,
it was American, and I liked the race suits. Yeah, I did like they always have good real liveries for the race.
Yeah,
and it matches the what's it called? It matches like because COTA is so red, white, and blue all over the place as well, and it matches. What you drop? Your fidget thingy?
No, my top. That is my other fidget thingy. I have a Spider-Man top.
You can get it.
No, I just picked it up with my feet.
Clip
that.
Clip that. Yeah, I'm gonna clip that. I'm gonna clip you acting like you didn't hear me say we did our giveaway.
Oh, good.
What's it called?
Haas, nothing from them. Nico finished 8th, 3 spots up from where he started. Kevin finished 3 spots down in 11th.
Traded.
Yeah. So
Kevin also went for the 2-stopper.
Yes, he did.
Which was strange because a lot of people that did 2-stopper went to the softs at the end. He went medium, hard, medium.
Yeah, weird. I wonder if he just preferred the mediums, or maybe when did he go in? 48 to 56. All right.
I think Kevin had the upgrades. Nico didn't. They also had one car didn't have the full upgrades. But yeah, that's Haas. Mercedes, an awful weekend.
Brutal weekend for Mercedes.
I still don't understand when you see George Russell, which first of all, I know he's okay. I know he didn't get hurt. That clip of him flying off the track.
Oh yeah.
It's so it looks fake because he's going so fast. He just goes whee, by. Which then you come to find out the next day, Lewis Hamilton spins out in the exact same spot.
Same spot, almost the exact same way.
And had the same complaints about George Russell's car. So that's what people were, when you already had Hamilton out Q1, so he was starting at the back anyway.
Yep. And
then people were like, why did they not just take the hit and change both cars, both start from the pit lane?
It's a fair point.
Lewis had the same complaints about the car that George had. Why would you not? But yeah, so obviously we talked about it earlier. Lewis spun out very early. Brought back our dear friend, Mr. Safety Car.
Yep.
The U.S. is keeping the safety car employed. But yeah, it was a 2-lap safety car, so it was in by lap 5, I think.
Yes, it was out on lap 3 right at the start line of lap 6. So the end of lap 5 is when they.
Yeah.
I think they came around the last turn and Charles went.
Yep. No, he waited until turn 1 because I was nervous for turn 1 off the start.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah, obviously Lewis. George though, phenomenal race. Starts from the pit lane, finishes P6. I almost said the wrong number, even though you just got that question wrong.
I thought you were looking at me for some weird reason.
He was a lot of people's because I did the whole thing at the end because. Well, they talked about on F1 TV, and Laura Winter was like, I think a number of drivers could have been driver of the day today.
Yeah,
so that's why I took
absolutely.
her quote, and a lot of people said George. They're like,
yeah.
George was driver of the day because he worked his way back up there fairly quick as well.
Yeah, he did pretty well. Yeah. The one thing I want to call out about George, it's not really a George thing, but it is. He started from the pit lane, and he still beat Sergio Perez.
Yeah, that was so sad.
Sergio Perez qualified in 9th, finished 7th, and George started from the pit lane and finished 6th, up 14 spots from where he
basically all new. When they changed the entire car from qualifying to the race.
It does look like he may have overcut him a bit, if I'm saying that right, because George's first stint is from. He was on hards and he went from lap 1 to lap 40. So they definitely pulled a bit of strategy out there. Just stayed out long enough and then built up the gap and yeah. I believe that's an overcut. I could be completely wrong. Someone please correct me if I am. But yeah, great race for George. I really just wanted to highlight the fact that he beat Checo.
No, but it's insane. He started from the pit lane. You think how far back they actually come out once the cars are through the first turn. It is
it's wild.
Yeah, it's wild. So yeah, great race for George. Unforgettable weekend for Lewis. I hope Ferrari, the last triple header, Ferrari had an awful time. Mercedes did okay. I hope they did not just switch places.
Let's hope not.
I hope they did not. Well, that could have been my one meme of the week because the Silverstone admin tweeted. Let me find it. Silverstone admin posted. Where is it? Did I screenshot it on my computer? I can't find it, but it basically was oh no, here you go. Imagine watching Lewis fly around Silverstone at the 2025 British Grand Prix after that Ferrari performance today. 3 fire emojis.
Oh yeah, everybody loves Lewis, man.
I was like, the Silverstone admin is even sick of Mercedes shit at this point.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so awful weekend. I hope Mexico's better for Lewis. Now, what do you want to do? End with the controversial penalties, end that battle, or end with Ferrari?
No, let's end with Ferrari because I'll do McLaren and a little bit of Red Bull.
Go ahead.
The whole thing with Red Bull had a good weekend. I'll give them that. They've obviously been struggling ever since. When was the last race Max won?
Spain?
Yeah. They've been struggling since Spain and just have not looked like the Red Bull that we know them to be. So for Max to come out and wins the sprint race, huge for them. Big for the championship points too.
Yeah.
And then for then also to then go in, you got Max on the podium. You got Checo finishing 7th, which is not ideal, but it's still points for the team. It's a really big thing. In regards to McLaren and Red Bull and that whole battle mess thing that happened at the end,
me on the literal edge of my seat.
I was jumping up and down. I was like freaking out. Andrew was sitting next to me, like coloring, and she was, I think, watching as well, but I didn't want to like take my eyes off of the screen to look and
you would
see.
miss something.
Right. So I was like, I can't look and see if she's watching this. But the whole thing with Max and Lando, I think I posted at the end of it, or you think you had posted, and I was like, I don't know who I'm mad at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mad in general. All right. Because I'm mad that it happened in the first place. That shitty luck for Lando. As a Lando fan, that is brutal that he loses out on points in the championship there. Now, we've talked about it before we recorded. He's got to make up something like 11.6 points per weekend on Max, like to win the championship. So there's that. And then it just makes the whole situation harder. I watched the race highlights again before we recorded. They covered the battle between them. Do I think Max pushed him off the road? Yes. I'm taking that stance. Do I think Max pushed him off the road? Absolutely, I do. Max kind of has a history of doing that. I think he can get a little gratuitous sometimes in the way that he forces people off the road in the sense of like, he had enough room on the other end to give him a car's length, and he did not give Lando a car's width, to stay on the track.
There's something to add for you.
On the other end, I am mad at McLaren for not giving the position back. But
because he had track limits as well.
Yes. The logical part of me is like, okay, I get it. On your end, you're going to root for your guy.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Max pushed him off the track. They had already called George on the same kind of penalty. So thought would be, oh, hey, they'll call out Max for this. But you had the track limits on Lando. And you had this tight battle between Lando and Max Verstappen. It's Max Verstappen. Like, at that point, like in my mind, I'm thinking like, we can't take anything for granted here. Just give the position back. Right? Give Lando. At that point, it was lap 52.
It was so close to the end.
52 of 56, which like, okay, let's say Lando goes off the road. He's got to obviously come back on, slow down a little bit to give that position back. But I would have loved to have seen Lando be able to try again to get that position again. Mm-hmm. But regardless, that's where I'll stick with it. Lando, fine race, whatever, at the end. Oscar, he finishes 5th. He qualified 5th. There you go. I appreciate him playing team and slowing down a bit so Lando would retain the 4th position. That was huge from him.
Yeah, they did. He did confirm on F1 TV after. Basically, so they were like, "Did they ask you to slow down?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "I had no problem slowing down.
Yeah.
Like, hold back everyone else."
We heard the accursed papaya rules again from Hinchcliffe at one point.
Yes, we did.
I was like, really? I heard that, and I like my head shot up, and I like twinged a little bit because I was like, oh, dear God, not again. But that's that. It's honestly, it's a weekend of it happened. I like Lando's like post race interviews where he was kind of like, sure, I would love to, get that back. And sure, I think that he pushed me off the track, but it was a great race. It was a great battle with Max. It is what it is. It was kind of just like a move on. I didn't see any quotes from Max, so I don't know if he got asked about it.
I'm sure he did, but I can't remember what he said now.
I know he got asked about it in the post race, like the immediate post race. But other than that, I didn't see anything. Like I know Lando's interviews at the end were kind of like following the race of like, well, what do you think? And, probably just because Lando got the penalty that they were like, do you think this is fair? Like all this stuff. It was probably a lot of those questions geared towards Lando just because he was on the losing end of it. But it happened. Stella was pretty pissed about it, but he said that Mexico is a track that's better suited for the McLarens. Yeah. So let's hope it's a better weekend.
McLaren was pretty honest saying that track was not meant for them.
Yeah.
It's not good for them. So I will say I have two things. One, I've never really seen F1 Twitter or whatever, social media, agreeing on one thing, and that was that Lando did not deserve that penalty at the end. That Max should have been given the penalty. Two, if you watch, I saw someone mention this, and I did watch a few clips. And Charles legit says it in his post race about Max off the start. Max goes that same racing line every single time into turn one.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right.
He basically almost goes like that every single time. So that's what people were like. We'll talk about Friday next, but Charles is like, I knew that's what Max was going to do in the start.
Yeah.
He's like, he does it every time, and he's done this in this track before. So I knew that's what he was going to do. So I knew the outside was where I needed to go. So you would. Yeah. I don't know if. I don't want to say it's his inexperience, Lando, or if it's not like McLaren didn't look at but like if you're seeing, if you looked at every time they went around turn one, Max was hugging the outside every single time. So you would think Lando would be like, okay, let me maybe if I try something else, like that's what people were saying. Like that's what obviously how Charles took the lead, and like Lewis, if he was battling Max, would have been like, oh yeah, he's going this way every single time. Let me try going.
Would have recognized, the pattern.
Not let me continue following him and get pushed off the track. Yeah. Again, I don't think that was so unlucky for Orlando. He did not deserve the penalty. I don't understand why they didn't tell him about the track limits, unless they did, but it made it seem like over the broadcast they didn't tell him. Yeah, you're gonna get the track limits.
Even Hinchcliffe was like, "Oh, he's got track limits now. Like he's gonna get a penalty regardless." And then,
then they came over saying, "You got the black and white flag." Like, please calm down. And he did. So he never fully got it, but it made it seem like they weren't telling him like every time.
Hey, that was dude, hey, strike one, strike two. Yeah.
While you're in that battle, obviously maybe they didn't care because of something. If there was an incident and Max got the penalty and then like he got one, it would have maybe canceled each other out. But yeah, it was an intense battle. If every race is like that from now on, we are in for a treat.
We're in for a treat. And I honestly gotta give like credit to Max as like that is a true testament to his skill to be driving that well with Lando on the charge,
literally because touching his rear wing at some point.
Yeah. Lando, I think right now is the more dangerous person out of Max and Lando, because Max is on the defense, Lando's on the offense. So Lando is just like, I'm just going to wear you the fuck out until I get points and I take over the championship lead. Whereas Max now is every race is, where's Lando? What's Lando doing? What is happening with Lando?
It's almost like it's not like Max cares. He doesn't care about winning, but it's like as long as he finishes in front of Lando, because then he'll get the more points.
Right.
Okay, like you said, Max is on the defense to keep Lando back. Yeah. That is Lando's main objective, or that is Max's main objective is Lando. So
that's every race now is Lando's primary objective is how can I beat Max in this race?
And they said every single freaking point matters. We have a sprint race in Brazil. We have a sprint race. Don't we have another sprint race?
We do.
Qatar.
Qatar, yeah.
Like, there's so many points at play still. But
yeah,
that was Max on the note. I have a feeling there's going to be questions when we get to the F1 threads next. I will keep Ferrari short and sweet. The team that doesn't bring upgrades ends up having an insane weekend. I did not, going into last weekend, that was not on my radar. I was like, no, like it's not going to happen. I mean, Carlos on Saturday was unreal. His drive was wild. I was getting pissed at that sprint watching him and Charles because, like,
that was wild.
We've seen them do that before. Is it Monza? We've seen them do that before where they almost crash and then, or like Baku. So I was like, oh no, here we go again. I can't do this.
Yeah. I was fully expecting contact.
Yeah.
Like a Daniel Max, like contact into each other type deal. Like,
and then you have Charles race day. I have watched every single angle of this start. I've watched from the pit lane. I watched from his like driver camera. I've watched the crowd view. I watched the broadcast view. F1 very nicely actually put like a split screen from the crowd view and the broadcast view, like to show. Nice. Yeah. So, wait, so you have Charles who qualifies behind Carlos Sainz, and I feel like when that happens, or after Carlos has the like amazing weekend the weekend before, like the day before, Charles is very subtly like, okay, I'm watching and I'm like, I'm seeing. And like you said, they asked him about that start multiple times, and he's like, I knew what Max was going to do. He's like, I knew Max was going to hug the inside, so I just had to stay on the outside and go right around. And that is exactly what he did into turn one. Goes from fourth to first in one turn and just takes off.
Gone.
He was at like an 8-7 gap a few laps in. Like after the safety car, I was a little worried because I was like, oh no, they're so close again. He keeps the lead. But yeah, then just takes off. The gap is a decent sized gap for the majority of the race. So much so that they have a comfortable cushion for a pit stop. He like comes out, I think it comes out behind Carlos, but Carlos had to pit after him. So he came out behind the McLaren, but the McLaren still needed to pit. So like it was still, Charles was going to obviously get back in the lead. But I mean, and at the end, it started getting closer and closer. Like the gap was like 5 seconds at one point between Carlos and Charles. But they didn't get close. I mean, there was the radio from Brian after the start, and he's like, that was a good start. Like, he's managing the tires. And then they asked him, obviously they played his radio a few times, like, what plan do you want to go for? And he's like, I want plan C. And people were like, I think it was Hinchcliffe and Jakes were like, that sounds like he wants the one stop. Like, he does not want to stop twice. And he did. I mean, he just made the one stop work brilliantly in Monza. So he did it again. But yeah, I mean, overall, I feel like the entire weekend, if I had to give Ferrari a grade, I would give them an A+. It was a pretty perfect weekend for them.
Yeah.
From qualifying, from sprint to normal qualifying to the race, I mean, a 1-2, huge points for them. They are now back in the conversation for the championship in a fight with Red Bull. So that's all I wanted to say about Ferrari.
The only thing I want to add about Charles, and I think it's the coolest part, is obviously off the start, like you said, he comes into turn one, knows what Max is going to do. The cockpit view is so cool to watch because you can almost see the moment that Charles is like, oh, my plan worked. Okay, step on the gas and just fucking flies. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, and it's, I loved seeing that moment because you see Lando and Max swing hard right to the outside and Charles just turn in and go. And I'm like, he read them like a book and just literally like tore it up. Like, it was perfect. So
yeah, whatever footage they had on in pre-race, or Charles, whatever studying it on his own, paid off.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah. Do you want to do lead points or no? Just go right into mailbag.
I'll do a quick points. We'll rip right through it real fast just because it is getting a little bit tighter. First place for Drivers' Championships, we have Max Verstappen with 354 points. Second place, Lando Norris, 297. Third place, Charles Leclerc, 275. He's getting there. He's getting close.
He's coming there.
Fourth, Oscar Piastri, 247. Fifth, Carlos Sainz, 215. Sixth, Lewis Hamilton, 177. Seventh, George Russell, 167. Eighth, Sergio Perez, 150th. Ninth, Fernando Alonso, 62. 10th, Nico Hulkenberg, 29th. So that's
it really is tight, like at the top. Like I feel
it's very tight at the top.
This sounds awful. Take Carlos out of it, but like every other position is like they're close together, but
it's wild. And then quickly ripping right through teams. McLaren's still sitting at the top with 544 points. Second is Red Bull with 504 points. Third is Ferrari with 496 points. That is an 8-point difference between those two teams.
Let's go.
Fourth place is Mercedes with 344. Then we take a massive headfirst dive off the cliff. We get fifth place with Aston Martin, 86 points. Sixth place, Haas with 38 points. Seventh place, VCarb, 36 points. Eighth place, Williams, 17 points. Ninth place, Alpine, 13 points. And still sitting down there at a big old fat goose egg, Kick Sauber sitting with big 0 points. The only thing that I want to note out of the constructor standing is, holy shit, there's a massive pile up on the front of the net. The only thing I want to note with VCarb is after Liam's performance with this weekend, do you think that they will jump over Haas in points? There is a 2-point separation between them right now, and we have 5 races left to go.
Yeah, but I also
including 2 sprint races.
Haas isn't going to give that up. Haas is pretty consistent this year, so I don't see them. We could see a fight for 6th and 7th.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I could see them overtaking, but I could also see Haas keeping that position. But, yeah, Ferrari and Red Bull, it's fun to watch.
They're right there. But yes, that was our constructor and drivers championship update. Thank you again to Box. That's where we got all of that wonderful information.
Mm-hmm. Moving on to F1 Threads mailbag, which is brought to you by the lovely jersey that I am wearing from Furious Motorsport.
So gorgeous.
As always, it's the same coupon code for Box Underground 30. You can get 30% or not 30, 10% off. No, Underground 10, sorry. Jesus Christ. Underground 10 for 10% off. But it's much easier to go through the link in our link tree because the coupon code gets applied automatically. Like you said, these, I'm so excited we now have these. They literally got delivered Friday and we were gone the entire weekend. And I was like, they're just sitting there.
They're just sitting there.
So yeah, hockey jerseys, baseball jerseys, basketball jerseys, swim trunks, crop jerseys. So everything you think of. But yes, we will be doing F1 Threads mailbag. We have 5 voicemails today. That's all of our questions.
5
we will keep
wonderful voicemails.
We will keep our responses short and sweet. We are getting a little bit long before we give Mexico predictions. Do I need to bring it up on the screen again? I can't remember.
Let's give it a try. Ready? If we can hear this message, this first message that we're going to listen to is brought to you by our wonderful friend and most recent podcast guest, Frey. Thank you, Frey, for reaching out and for.
She posted. She's like, "I'm not going to forget today," and then I posted again. She's like, "I'm running home."
Good work, Frey. Good work. And here we go.
Let's test this.
If it loads.
I was going to say I can't hear it.
Refresh the page. Here we go.
I can't hear it. No. So let me add it to the screen.
All right, we got to share the screen. Classic F1 Underground, figuring out as we go.
Well, because when we first tried it, we got it to work, and then I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember how we did it.
From Frey.
About the rookies of this.
Restart it.
Hi, Frey here. I just wanted to just have a little appreciation about the rookies of this place, like Franco and Liam. They did an incredible job, and Liam, we already saw him last year, and I think the bar was really high of expectations and everything, and I think he really matched them and even more with this race. And the same and Franco, just every race keeps just doing better and better, and I think it's crazy the talent he has and how much he's learning, and he's learning so fast. And he's in the same situation that Liam was like last year, and I really do not want to wait another year or more like to have him on the grid. I think he deserves like a spot right now. But yeah, I think we need to. I mean, it's great to say it now because next year we have literally like 3 rookies, 4 if you count Liam. But we need like more to show more like these young talents on the grid, and we need to like maybe have more like give them more like free practice sessions or something. But they definitely there are a lot of drivers that are extremely talented in the younger series and categories that need to be shown more.
Yeah, completely agree.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I love when we have the like one-off practice sessions where it is like a rookie driver or reserve driver coming in and showcasing what they can do, albeit on practice, but still they're in a car and they're driving. Yeah, I love it. I agree too, Frey, with I don't want to wait a year to see Franco on the grid.
Not just to not wait to see his talent on the grid and to not see his personality off the grid, because the kid's got it all.
He's got it all.
But yeah, no, we can't wait. And they did announce it along with taking the point away from fastest lap. 2026, I think it was. They will be adding additional practice sessions for the rookies. So now each driver has to do at least 2. So there should be 4 total for each team. Give it more, and obviously they're trying to make this rookie race work, but again, that's only one time. But yeah, we can't lose them both when they're both so damn good. So
yeah, I love it.
Yes.
Our next message is brought to you by Lizzie. Lizzie, thank you for reaching out and leaving a voicemail.
Well, I think this one she said it might be a little glitchy, but I did listen to the beginning and it did sound okay, but we'll see.
All right. Well, we'll see. Again,
not playing.
So all about Danny Rick. Well, he was missed this weekend, wasn't he? His personality was most definitely missed. With regard to on track, I think he needs to be mindful, and the dangling carrot of Red Bull, I think, is a little bit unfair right now as it stands. I think they're messing with his head a little bit. I guess my question would be, what do you think of the possibility of Danny Rick coming back in the 2026 season, giving himself a nice, a good break to sort of reset and then re-attack? That's something that I would definitely like to see. My daughter would definitely like to see, and I think a lot of other people would definitely like to see him back on the track. There's also the potential of maybe a different track. What other potential could Danny Rick race? I think the options are there. But yeah, that's my question. Do you think Danny Rick has a potential to come back in 2026?
Wait, I have to say before, I get so jealous of our friends with the English accent.
Oh, yeah. They sound
nice.
so good.
They sound so nice. I unfortunately don't think we see him back in F1 because kind of we just got finished talking with answering Frey's or listening to Frey's point we talked about before. There's too much young talent waiting to come up. But I don't think we've seen the last of Daniel Ricciardo in motorsport. I do think he has the perfect personality for IndyCar, maybe even NASCAR. Throw him in a WEC and let him go crazy during Le Mans. I don't think it's the end of Danny Rick's motorsport career. I also think Red Bull would be stupid to fully let him go. I think they keep him on. I think we might mention this before. I think they keep him on in like the David Coulthard kind of capacity with show runs, marketing aspects. Because like she said, he was missed this weekend. It's like we mentioned earlier again, it's his favorite place. But I unfortunately don't think we see him back again in Formula One.
Yeah, I agree with you. Part of me thinks it's definitely because of the, like you said, the young blood that's kind of coming up and everything and making a name for themselves. I partly feel like there's this thing of Danny Rick might not want to come back.
Yeah.
He already kind of did the whole let me take a year off and then come back and see how it goes route, and clearly it didn't go that well for him. So he might not want to come back. But I do agree with you as well. I don't think we've seen the last of him in motorsport. I think if I had to place a bet on the first thing that he would go to, I would say it would be WEC. I could see him doing 24 hours of Le Mans.
Yeah, so I can too.
But he's always said that IndyCar scares him. But hopefully he goes to that because I agree. He's got the perfect personality for it. He's such a marketable face. I'm sure IndyCar would love to have him just because of the blow up that he had. He had a hand in helping with F1. So there's a whole bunch of reasons there why he might go to IndyCar. But I would say first we'd see him at WEC in some function, and then maybe IndyCar. But yeah, unfortunately, Formula One, I think we've seen the last.
And imagine like if Red Bull comes back and joins WEC, like there are rumors or people talking about that, like I can see them bringing him in for that.
Yeah.
So, yes. Next question or next
question from Jesse. Thank you for leaving a message, Jesse.
Hello, Jesse here. Greetings from uni. And from Germany, I guess. I'm just glad that F1 is back. Racing is back, not only in the front, in the back, everywhere in the midfield. It is just so exciting. As a McLaren girly, it's a bit much, obviously, but as an Oscar fan girly, it's been pretty boring, as he said himself. But I'm just so glad it's back. It's been so intense and it's fun and it's just very, very nice. And I hope you all have a good day and rest of your week. And I can't wait for the next week because if F1 is back like this after this long of a break, I can't wait to see whatever is happening the next weeks. Bye-bye.
Hi, Jesse from Philadelphia.
From Philadelphia.
I love her. No, I mean, I don't really need to say much, but yeah, if it's back like this, the next 5 races are going to be showstoppers.
Oh, yeah. It's, like I said, the middle of the race, now that, like, I'm remembering, like, more details and everything, like, the race really came alive at the end, but, like, it came alive in such a good way, and it's the perfect, like, if this is what we're getting for these last 5 races, I am thrilled.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am so excited. But, yeah, it's good to be back from this break. This one felt so much longer than the summer break.
I also think you missed the question because you went from 10 and then it went to 8. I think you skipped over 9.
It might be from no, there's a 9. I have a 9.
Okay.
Our next question is brought to you by Sabrina.
Oh yeah, I love her.
In my opinion, this race was perfect. I love the Max and Lando battles. That's what Formula One is. I love this so much. But I think FIA should have handled the situation way better. Because I think they must use a clear way to give the penalties. Because you can't penalize, make an example, Verstappen, and let it pass for Lando or something like that.
Uh-oh. Their question cut out.
Did we lose it entirely?
Go back a little bit and like where it stopped.
And
it cuts back in. It started up again towards the end. No, Sabrina.
And that's what I have to say. Maybe the drivers will help the FIA to handle all these wrecks way better. I hope so.
We think we just missed her example, but I did get what she was saying. I think that's what we just missed was her example. But no, we talked about the penalty and stuff in the the penalty and stuff earlier during the recap. I don't think that it wasn't needed. It could have been handled better by the FIA, but a lot of things could be handled better by the FIA.
Yeah. I forget who posted it. I should have liked it so I could pull it up and give credit to them. But somebody posted, I think lessen the blow a little bit if the FIA could explain how they came to that jurisdiction.
Yes.
And the comparison that I saw was great, which is I'm gonna kind of paraphrase here because I don't know. They were comparing it to the VAR system in football, where it's like, which I'm assuming I've seen the like offsides calls before in football, where it's like, hey, here's this like 3D recreation of the penalty of like the call, and this is why we called it. And I think overall, just in general, the idea of the FIA being like, hey, we've come to this decision. This is how we made that decision, and here's the guidelines that we use to make this decision. I think would be something that would soften the blow for a lot of people, and you would get people being like, okay, I disagree with it, but sure, I can see your logic. You know, like,
no, I agree.
Yeah. I apologize, Sabrina, about your message getting cut out there. That's upsetting. But
she's like a part of the show now. She had technical difficulty.
yeah.
Welcome to the family.
Yeah. All right, last message. This is from Chris. It's a quick one, too. 12 seconds.
Oh, perfect.
I was wondering, after this weekend's race, is Owen more mad about what happened to Lando, or is Casey more happy about Charles winning?
What a perfect question to end on.
That's a phenomenal question, first of all.
That's the perfect question.
My easy answer, you're more happy about Charles than I'm more mad about Lando.
Yeah, I think I totally agree. And I can quickly explain it because obviously the Monaco and Monza win, like you go into those races with like the expectation, you're like, Charles, this is Charles' race to lose. Yep. Like he has to win this. This one came by such a surprise.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand at the end because like I was getting emotional. I couldn't stand up because I was so nervous. I was like, I swear to God, if something goes wrong, if Ferrari screws this up. So yeah, I definitely think I am definitely more excited about Charles than Owen is pissed off about Lando. That was a perfect question.
Yeah, great question. A great question to round it off there.
Great question. But yes, moving on to our last segment, we will keep it quick.
We'll do it real
predictions.
Fast. Some
obviously,
quick picks.
Mexico, normal race this weekend. Only one race, normal practice. Actually, FP2 is longer by 30 minutes because of Pirelli testing. I want to look at where a detailed weather, but I don't know exactly where in Mexico the track is.
The other thing to call out for FP1, we will have Pato Award in the car.
Yes, and I think we also get Ollie back.
Yes.
Jack, I think, Robert Schwartzman. We got a few people in FP1, so.
Yeah. I'm excited to see Pato in the McLaren.
I have a feeling it's going to be what's it called? He'll be an Oscars car based on like points and stuff.
Probably.
It should be Oscars. But I mean, Pato and FP1 is like watching Charles Leclerc race in Monaco. Like that crowd is going to go insane for Pato.
People are going to lose it.
Especially after the controversy of Pato who? All right, I looked up Mexico City. The weather looks normal. So
weather's looking good.
Okay. Before we give predictions, I have to say it was pointed out that it went, if you go back to the Dutch GP, Zandvoort, so since summer break ended, it went Lando, Charles, Oscar. Then it continued Lando, Charles. So this week, Oscar.
So, oh, shit.
Lando won Zandvoort, Charles Monza, Oscar Baku, Lando Singapore, Charles Austin. Oh, she's continuing. So
off of Off of that,
I know
and
I might go to Lulu.
Off of Stella's comments about this track being better suited for McLaren, I'm picking Oscar to win. I'm gonna go Oscar, Lando. I feel like I should throw just like a wild card in third.
Just do it. You never know with Mexico.
I'm gonna say Lewis. Lewis is coming back for vengeance.
Okay. Also, can we talk about Charles went from being disqualified last year in Austin to winning?
That's what I'll say.
Okay, I also want to stick with, I'm going to do Oscar. I'm going to do Oscar, Charles, Lando, but I think Lando and Max can battle it out for third.
Really?
Just because I think I want Ferrari to keep getting more points. Like,
keep gaining the ground?
Yes, on the championship. Yeah. I hope Checo's able to finish, and it's not like last year, and Charles doesn't get booed mercifully after he takes them out.
Forgot about that, yeah.
That was so bad. But, okay, so you said, what'd you say? Oscar,
I
Lando.
said Oscar, Lando, Lewis.
I said Oscar, Charles, Lando. Okay.
I like it.
Those are our predictions. That is all we have for this week. This was a good episode, another long one, but the race was... We didn't even really go into the sprint. The race was that eventful.
Yeah, we barely talked about the sprint.
Yeah. We will be back next week. We will recap Mexico, and we will preview the last race of the triple header, Brazil. I'll bring that one another pints and pit stops. If there's other weekly news, I feel like we got to find out who's getting this Sauber seat pretty soon. See if the championship battle continues. But
should know eventually.
Yeah. But yes, thank you so much for listening, giving us a listen, watch. As always, our social media is at the bottom of the screen, but if you're listening to us, we are over on Instagram and Threads at Underground F1, over on Twitter at Underground_F1. Please go give our main channel a subscribe on YouTube. We are very close to a big milestone. It's Underground Sports Philadelphia. There's, like we've mentioned before, shows for everyone. If you're a Philadelphia sports fan, Sixers start this week. Flyers are going. Eagles are going. But there's also streamer seasons. There's out of the box for lacrosse. There's literally something for everyone. So yes, go give them a subscribe or give us a subscribe. We'll be back next week, like I said, with Mexico recap. Let's hope it's as good as the past few races have been, and I have a feeling it's going to be because they've all been pretty good. So
they've been very good.
Thank you so much, and we will see you all next week.
See you later, people.